The time being 6:15 p.m., I hereby call this regularly scheduled commission of the Hanson Conservation, regularly scheduled meeting of the Hanson Conservation Commission to order on Wednesday, April 3rd, 2025. This meeting of the Hanson Conservation Commission is now open under the State Wetland Protection Act, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Hanson Local Bylaw, Article 3-13, Section 5. This opening statement will apply for all business conducted at this meeting. As per our standard procedure, this meeting of the Hanson Conservation Commission is being audio recorded. I will begin with a roll call, starting to my left.
Dave Mansfield.
TJ Rofi.
Lon Luber. Frank Skellinger.
So we have 4 of our 5 seated commissioners with us this evening and 100% of the office staff. So we do have our legal quorum. Turning our agenda to the agenda for this evening, our first item is a 6:15 p.m. continued notice of intent public hearing for 86 Woodbine Ave. And that's you folks, correct? So, you want to tell us a little about what you're looking to do?
Trying to put up a 55 garage behind the house.
Okay. And you're outside the 50-foot buffer, but working inside the 100-foot, is that right? Okay. Dr. Skellinger, anything to offer?
Well, you know that this project was opened last time, or the time before?
It was open previously, yes.
Yes. And that at that time, the engineer involved was Merrill, right? And there was some issue of setback from the back line that was put to the zoning board of appeals. And the applicant, I believe, went to the zoning board of appeals, and their hearing was continued. They have not resolved the question of the back line setback. They did, however, through the building inspector, talk about making the barn smaller than what had been proposed previously. My personal opinion is that the building inspector was wrong about that, but that's neither here nor there. Merrill has come back with a plan, a draft plan, that shows the building being smaller. Still not meeting the back line setback. Beyond that, I had some comments that I made on the notice of intent, which Merrill failed to resolve. As it stands now, I believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, the O'Connors have decided to change engineers, or may have decided that, and as I understand from the engineer, Mr. Rye, the deal wasn't struck yet as of this afternoon. So at this point, I don't know who the engineer is. I presume the O'Connors can tell us. And that being the case, I would recommend that we continue until zoning board of appeals decides what to do, and we have resolution of comments from the engineer.
Okay. Let the record show that Mr. Heel was able to join us at 6:20 p.m. That being out of the way. So I presume you've already had some discussions with Mr. Rye about retaining his services?
Yes.
Yes, and
Okay.
we had to ask, the building inspector for a letter, give that letter for,
What he wanted us to do. He said it had that Friday.
so we couldn't sign papers with Mr. Rye
Okay.
until he reads the paper from the building inspector.
Okay.
Find this wording. Wording is exactly correct.
Are there any questions from members of the commission?
Oh, it's what's non-conforming, what, that's what it is about.
I take that to be a no. Okay. When did ZBA push you to?
I haven't heard, we had an informal hearing with them,
Okay.
and then we don't have much communication with the Merrill Associates, so,
So no longer working with Merrill Associates?
yes.
Was that a problem of payment, or did
No,
they,
he's paid in full.
they just decided they couldn't do it?
Communication, the this and the that, and no returning my emails and not updating me, and I know his associate came and did a proposal, and we didn't get any copies of that. I just,
Yeah, I don't understand why Mr. Sullivan couldn't follow through.
correct,
I don't get it.
with them.
Okay.
Was this something that we have a chance at, or
We just don't know where we,
you don't know where you stand yet?
Yeah, so, I don't know offhand what your comments were, we were looking for from the engineer.
I hope not.
It is certainly a project that can be done in a, compliant manner. So, but without a finalized plan from an engineer currently working with you and approval from the ZBA that is in fact what's gonna happen, we can't grant that approval yet. So,
So our next step is,
your next step with us is we would continue your hearing for tonight, and then you can be, we'll put it on for 2 weeks and see where that leaves you with Mr. Rye and ZBA. We can always, we're not turning you away, we're saying we'll, touch base with you when some more Ts are crossed and Is are dotted.
okay,
Just to make sure that, everything for the Wetlands Protection Act and the Wetlands Act side of the property is taken care of and protected. So, certainly I don't wanna sit here and tell you that you can build the garage that's drawn, because I don't know for sure that that's what's gonna be exactly what you get, obviously with the ZBA setback and everything. But there's certainly enough to work with back there that you can get, we should be able to find a way to get you a garage,
okay.
or barn, or whatever
Yeah,
term you wanna use for it.
thank you.
So the chair would entertain unless anyone has any further questions, the chair would entertain a motion to continue this hearing to April 16th at 6:30 PM.
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Mr. Mansfield and seconded by Mr. Heel. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Motion passes 5-0-0. So just keep the office in the loop with how you make out with the building commissioner and everybody.
Okay.
And if it's, hopefully we can see you in 2 weeks. If everything's not ready, then we can probably spare you coming in and spending your evening with us until everything is.
That's fine. We can continue it without you having to show up.
We'll get to know each other real well.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So, But that's it for you for this evening, so you're welcome to stay, but certainly not obligated to.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so we just established we'll be here for a bit tonight.
All right, thank you.
So this one's been completed already, right?
No.
I just gave them our email, I gave them our email and the continue date.
Have a good night. I don't
No one here, right?
know that they're gonna be here, no.
Amanda,
I was saying, do we expect to actually see them?
did Amanda
I'm
reach out?
sorry?
Did Amanda reach out?
No,
No.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Not a peep.
Discuss or, I checked with Virginia, nothing's been submitted with her yet.
Okay.
All right.
We're not here, is it?
All right, so seeing no sign of the applicant for our 6:30 hearing, we will entertain a motion to continue that to the 16th at 6:45?
Yeah.
April 16th at 6:45.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Mansfield and seconded by Mr. Heel. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, abstaining, motion passes 5-0-0. Brings us to our other 6:30 scheduled hearing, for a amendment to the existing order of conditions for Lakeside Road, Lot 2B. For those who might not have been with us the first time we went through this, I have a family member who's a butter to the project, and therefore legally required to excuse myself, or recuse myself from the hearing. So, Mr. Mansfield, this is your show.
Okay. Thanks, Steve.
Good evening, hi.
I'm okay, how are you?
Bye, TJ.
Don't forget about me.
I will.
I guess technically we have to wait about 60 seconds.
Let me know.
You seen Steve Rye that we were just moments ago talking about with that other couple that was just in?
Yes.
In a different city, right, I'm not
I was
sure.
gonna say, I thought, you know, like, look, wait 15 minutes, I think he's coming in.
No, they came into our office the end of the day before yesterday, just to discuss things, and I tried to let them know what we need to do before we can take on the project.
Oh, okay, so that was,
So,
oh, okay.
so there's a certain amount of things they need to do, and we need to talk to the engineer that originally designed it, so.
I think it's underneath the. Yeah, it is underneath the, not the. Okay.
Good evening, Steve Rye with Land Planning for the record. We're here with a request for an amended order of conditions for Lot 2B on Lakeside Road, which is, if you remember, the main lot of the three that got approved late last year. And what we're in here for, the house is constructed right now, closed in, and the yard has been regraded to be able to facilitate construction. All the work on the crossings of the wetlands and stuff like that has been done. So specifically, he was going out to dig for the excavation of the septic system leaching area, and did not find the type of material that was expected to be there. So we needed to go out and do additional test holes, which we did in a different location at the back of the garage. Found better material there. So we redesigned the septic system, submitted that to the Board of Health. That's been approved now. And then we filed this amendment request with you for relocation of the septic leaching area from the original location was over these two test holes on the back,
Right.
and now it's going to be over these test
Is there any impact, any different impact on wetlands or anything?
No, there's not. It was in an area that was already to be, changed over from the wooded area to the backyard. So there's no increasing disturbance within the buffer zone. And we're located, 58 feet from the wetlands. That's the reserve area that's not gonna be constructed. So the leach now is a little further than that. In addition to that, the contractor lowered his house elevation, so we show regrading to facilitate what's actually gonna happen. It was up higher previously, so they have steeper slopes down to the land. Now it's gonna be gentler slopes.
So generally, it's an improvement.
It is that way, and that way the space can fill.
Right.
And the only other thing that changed a little bit is they had a drainage system for the roof drains, which is under the driveway, located, square located in blue there, next to the garage. And that had to be moved a little bit, about 10, 15 feet, to be 50 feet from the septic systems.
Comment, Frank?
I have no comments. Everything, I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, I thought you were.
I have no comments. I've been out there, I've seen what they're going to do. I just have one question, Steve. Access to the son's house in the back? I mean, everything has been moved through that area so far. Yes, during construction, your access is behind the house to get to the back of the property. So is he gonna wait to put it in before, until the son is done? I know when they put it in, they're not gonna be able to access that way anymore, so they're gonna have to proceed with the front driveway. But otherwise, I have no comments. It should be approved.
That's okay, we'll set the time still for it.
Okay. Let's go for it.
So, we'll entertain motion to approve the amendment of the existing order of conditions as described by Mr. Ryan. So moved. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. 4-0, one abstention. Okay,
Very good, thank you.
sounds like a no problem. You like it that way?
Do it, close,
Yes, I would move that we close the, hearing on this, request. So moved. All in favor? Aye. Approved, 4-0-1. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hang around for a bit.
Okay. Please.
Just one more?
Yeah.
I can, yeah, go get him.
6:45, so we might have time to do some other business.
We're really wasting time on my mind, eh?
Nope. We're in pretty bad people.
You did a great job.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, we have a few minutes before our next scheduled hearing. So we can turn our attention to the March 5th meetings for, minutes for starter.
I move we approve the March 5th minutes as printed. So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Mansfield, seconded by Mr. Heel to approve the minutes of March 5th, 2025. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstaining? Motion passes. Which then brings us to the minutes of March 19th, which are also in our packet. If anyone has any comments on those. Do we have that DEP number?
Yeah, we didn't have it at the date though, so that's why I left it blank. Guess we're going back in, going in? I guess I could. Going back in.
I would fill them in the minutes, because the minutes are a record.
Okay. Fill in minutes, okay. DEP number. Will do.
On the off chance somebody decides to
We
read
have to look it up, yes.
You know, amend these minutes to include that, or?
Yeah, yep, I'll add them.
Just, to put back in the DEP numbers that are blank in,
Yep.
hearings.
We have them, right?
Yeah, we have them, we didn't have them at
No.
the time, like when I set it up, so, but I'll add it.
Any comments on the minutes of March 19th?
Move we approve the minutes from March 19th, with the addition of the correct team members for the 7:30 PM notice of intent,
As well as the 6:30.
as well as 6:30, yeah.
I'll second it. Okay, motion made by Mr. Mansfield and seconded by Mr. Heel. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining, motion passes. And the chair would entertain a motion to table the minutes of the March 24th Master Plan Super Board Land Use Meeting extravaganza.
So moved. I'll second.
Motion made by Mr. Mansfield, seconded by Mr. Heel. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining, that motion passes as well. We have a few more minutes to kill.
I got one thing that's pretty quick, if you want to throw it in there.
Knock your socks off, Dave.
A resident complaint about, trees that are hung up on conservation property behind his property on Harvey Circle.
181.
One Harvey Circle. So Frank went out and looked at it, I went out and looked at it. The trees don't threaten his property or his house. He's concerned because his grandkids play in the woods on conservation property. Jeff Keeney, tree guy, went out and took a look at it. I talked to him, he said those trees aren't coming down anytime soon. He said they're stuck. But if we feel we need to take them down, $1,200 to cut them up and leave them. So I think the bigger question is whether we set a precedent by doing this or how we want to approach it.
Who is this guy that went to look
Did
at
you
it?
get went to look at Jeff Keeney, he's a local tree surveyor.
From McDonough, William McDonough?
The owner?
Yeah.
I didn't talk to him.
McDonough.
McDonough.
Name is
Roy.
McDonough.
He wasn't there.
All right, no, I didn't ask what belongs to the property, but I asked about the tree.
Jeff Keeney is a local
Oh.
tree.
Okay. No, I'm inclined to defer to the tree expert.
Well, no, we're not gonna cut it down anyway ourselves, right?
Right, but no, if he says they're not coming down, then,
He said they're not gonna fall anytime soon, is the way he put it. He says eventually, that tree that hung out, one's gonna rot out, and they'll fall, but it's not gonna.
And will they fall
They
on
won't,
the trail or?
no, that's
anything?
that's the question, because they don't endanger his property or his house.
He's just worried that his kids are gonna.
He's just worried that his grandkids will be playing there someday and they'll fall down. Problem is, in my opinion, if we vote to remove those trees or cut those trees out, where does that set a precedent? Who does that fix the stuff?
yeah.
Yeah, because the next time we go to.
Hanging behind my house.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
I've got trees exactly the same that
I'm just throwing it out there because it seems to me that the commission needs to make some kind of a policy decision, if you will, if we can start with making a decision on these trees. Maybe we need to speak with legal, see if there's liability of some sort.
If it's not near a trail and it won't fall on the trail and it's not gonna fall on that guy's property, then
Correct.
that's just a tree in the woods.
Correct.
And trees fall down all
It's
the
not,
time in the woods.
right, it's not one of our trails, just happens to be some conservation it's actually landlocked, isn't it? That piece of property?
No, it goes out to, East Washington Street. It's a long strip that runs along the river.
No.
Can you remind me, if for the volunteer cleanup and if somebody sees something they want, if they're all on the volunteer list and they clean it up, does this even come close to that? Like, if he was a volunteer, could he go out there and cut up the tree?
He's not the owner? His tree is hung up, the two trees hung up on the roof tree. But there's not a,
It's professional work.
But he could, if he, we wouldn't want to get to answer the question as far as, but if it wasn't that bad, and it was addressable by the homeowner, and he wanted to volunteer, does that fit into our volunteer?
Well, it's not a trail maintenance issue.
It's not really a trail.
I think this is back to that question about whether we want a precedent of being responsible for answering any complaint or suggestion that this tree, you know, if you can start walking through the properties and start flagging trees.
I mean, the goal of conservation land is to maintain the natural environment.
Right.
The natural environment involves trees falling down. If it does not pose a hazard,
Right.
to an established trail or someone else's property,
That
then
is
I
correct.
don't think at this time we need to take any action.
I agree with you.
I agree as well, I just wanted to throw it out there.
I think we should probably file away in the back of our minds that once a year we should go look at this. And make sure it's not rotting.
But even if it is,
Are we talking split trees leaning against other trees?
there's
or-
two trees that have fallen and they're hung up on another tree.
These are dead trees that are just
Well,
not.
I'm not sure if they're dead or not, well, they are now,
Yeah,
they've fallen onto another tree.
yeah.
They're widowmaker.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm getting at, is this, when you say they're not coming down anytime.
We actually have three really big ones at Poor Meadow that we decided to leave the way they are. And that is, the trail doesn't go anywhere, but it goes past.
We relocated that tree to avoid that tree.
Exactly right. So, to me, that's an argument.
And what, that tree was like $6,000 to get rid of.
Yeah, well, but even so, the principle is similar. And that is a trailed area, but the trail doesn't go there, so but we need to contact this owner, I guess, to tell him where the decision is.
There is another tree I bring attention to, but actually, who's on the phone?
Who's the town tree warden these days?
Steve from Highway.
There is a tree that does threaten the trail at, Pony Hill. So at the end of the day, when I was leaving the Boy Scout hike.
Let's address one issue at a time.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm saying,
Well, on that one, just tell me where it is on Open Road.
not on our property, but with Granbury.
Oh, well, it's a different issue.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
That's really not an issue, there's nothing we can do about it.
Right.
Yeah, it's a few feet onto his property.
At any rate, should we contact this homeowner and tell him that it's, I don't know what to tell him exactly, but.
I would advise him that a tree professional has advised us there's no danger posed by that tree. No immediate danger posed by that tree.
Now, I've never spoken to him myself. Do you wanna contact him, Frank, or do you want?
I will. Yeah, I will.
You know, if he's that concerned, I suggest he tell us he has nothing to there.
He can give us the $2,400 to take it down. I don't know if you've heard the town's broke.
Okay, I just wanted to clear that up. Thanks, Frank.
All right, moving to the next item on our agenda, 6:45 PM, a request for determination of applicability to repair the existing septic system for 2 Main Street, map 38, lot 5. This is a new hearing. If the clerk could please read the public hearing notice.
The Hanson Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025, 6:45 PM at the Hanson Town Hall, Select Board's Meeting Room, 542 Liberty Street, Hanson, Massachusetts, pursuant to a request for determination of applicability for Cumberland Farms Incorporated, Tom Harley. Parcel and project. A proposal to repair the existing septic system for the gasoline station located at 2 Main Street, map 38, lot 5, NWC of Main Street, School Street, and Mattakesett Street, Union Street, within 100 feet of the bordering vegetated wetlands. The applicant is represented by Bowler Engineering, 275 Broad Hollow Road, Suite 100, Melville, New York, 11744. The applicant is filed with the Massachusetts Wetlands Protection Act, Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 132, Section 40, and the Town of Hanson Wetland Protection Bylaw, 3-13, Section 5, and Rules and Regulations. Hanson Conservation Commission, Thomas F. Ropey, Chairman? J. Ropey?
No.
It is F?
Yeah.
Jay?
I'm sorry.
I presume you're the engineer?
So, my name is Mark Arnold with Goddard Consulting. I'm actually the licensed soil evaluator, did the soil testing out there. Bowler Engineering asked me to attend the meeting. I'm also a wetland scientist, soil scientist. this, so they asked me to attend just because it does conservation related as well as septic, although it's fairly straightforward, project. Basically, this is a septic repair, all within existing pavement and a landscape island that's right along Main Street there. Work is in the outer buffer zone. Again, all work is within, the existing paved area. It's the soft cut, excavation, installation of the septic repair, for the gas station, and then backfill, repave, and, you're done. Nothing else, no tree clearing, no vegetation clearing of any kind, it's all again within the existing pavement area. So that's why we saw the request for extraordinary facility.
So when you're done, it's gonna look just like it does now.
Exactly.
We use a swap out then, pull it
It's
there, put it
yeah,
in.
pulling out what's there, exactly, putting it back in, there's no other place to put it, so we did do a test, fit there, and then work with the Board of Health to comply with the regulations. It's a difficult property, there's a lot of fill, there, so, we work with the Board of Health to make sure that, they got the soil data they needed. We did a soil sample and test, because we couldn't actually perk the water, the natural material, because it was so deep.
Turning to our agent, any comments?
I have no comments on the, conservation side. I just wonder, is it approved by the Board of Health yet?
I'm unfortunately not aware of that question. So, double check, I did have some correspondence, on this matter, but I did not know if confirmed for the health approval. I know they were working on it. But at this time, I'm not aware of that, but I believe they've already discussed it. The testing was witnessed by the Board of Health, agent, so which was good, because it was, again, a unique situation, so they worked with, the agent, what was necessary to comply, and it should comply with their regulations.
Well, the reason I ask is because it's an alternative system. It's not a conventional system. It's using an alternative method.
Correct.
For this.
Which is allows for repairs, in particular situations when you have a septic repair, you're allowed to go to alternative systems because of the tightness of the line.
So the question will be whether the Board of Health is going to approve that. So what I would do here is I would condition it, subject to Board of Health approval. So a -3 determination from conservation, and conditions will include, waiting for Board of Health to approve, if they haven't already. I can check that.
There's nothing within the 50-foot buffer, right?
No,
Just 100, okay, so we don't need a variance.
no.
Any questions or comments from members of the commission? Anything from other members of the public? Seeing none, the chair would entertain a motion to approve the -3 determination with special conditions, including subject to the Board of Health approval as discussed.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Mansfield and seconded by Mr. Heel. Any discussion on the motion? And I assume that the motion was also intended to close the hearing, right? Okay, good. So, any discussion on the motion? Any final discussion on the matter? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? Motion passes unanimously.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Did you get his last name?
Goddard, right?
Mark Arnold.
Arnold, okay, thank you.
There you
I would have looked it up. Thank you.
Thank you, have a good night.
Thank you. Is the authorized signers paperwork?
Hmm?
Do you have the authorized signers paperwork with you?
Yes, wanna do that?
You can bang it out in less than 10 minutes, right?
Yeah, oh my God, yeah. Unless you go really slow signing.
Yep. We're having so much fun. So, attending to other matters on the agenda while we wait for our 7 p.m. advertised start time for our next hearing. We do have to update the authorized signers for the Conservation Commission with the addition of, Ms. Daigle to the commission. So, we pass these down, and everyone just needs to sign next to their name. Do we have to vote to approve the,
We can.
does it require, I don't know, you said it required, you wrote it requires a vote, no?
Let's do a vote then.
Okay.
All right.
So that being the case, the chair would entertain a motion to add, to update the authorized signers for the Conservation Commission to include Ms. Daigle.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Mansfield and seconded by Mr. Heel. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstaining, motion passes. Master Plan quarterly meetings, we did have the first of the Master Plan, Land Use Super Board meetings last week. And we are gonna try and schedule the next one for, on date TBD. Try and work on, some general land use goals, see if we can get some other parties to join us at the next one. If there's anything that anyone has in pertaining to that, you can forward it to me or Dave. Because it sounds like we're gonna be doing a chairperson's meeting in between. Conservation regulations, I got nothing. You haven't done anything beyond?
I
what we
sent,
discussed, right?
I sent the, edited one back for one.
Yep, I forwarded it to Frank.
Some of the comments I had already been updated on when you sent. But you have the copy I sent you, right, Lynn?
Yeah, I forwarded it to Frank, just haven't given a copy, so,
So-
yep.
I'm done with that.
All right, I still have to take a look at it, I'm sorry, I'm dragging my feet.
No problem.
I'll try to get on that for the next meeting. Sweeper conservation area, our contractor has completed the work for the accessible parking spaces as seen in the photo provided by Mr. Mansfield. The signage has been ordered, but is not in hand yet, correct?
Correct.
And so once the signage is in, Mr. Mansfield will set some posts, put up the signs,
2 posts, 2 signs.
and that should, for the time being,
They'll wrap it
Cover
up,
our right
and
there.
West Wildland Trust has any comments, they should take it.
oh, we will find that too, I think,
Yes, yeah.
you know.
We can get through it easier now with this. Hopefully we're gonna rush it, yes,
No, well, let's not take sweeper conservation area off the agenda till we remember to do something about the deer stand.
okay. I'll take another look at it, see if I can come up with an actual plan.
You can't drive out there, right?
You know.
Keep that on there for the moment. Conservation property list. I signed the memo that we took a vote for last meeting to send to our elected representatives to try and keep that process moving along. Lon was going to have a representative of the Water Commission also sign it, since it is also pertinent to them. And then, assuming that we get that home rule petition through the Grade and General Court, we'll be able to put the conservation property list to bed. Open space and recreation plan, Lon forwarded us the draft from the consultant. It is 134 pages, I think.
Yeah.
So there are a couple copies here, if anyone wants to take a paper copy home to read.
Oh, that's just one. Everyone has one. That's the whole thing. It wouldn't double-sided, I apologize.
That's a big thing.
Yeah, I just figured if you guys wanted to write on it versus the PDF.
Lon has continued her war on trees.
My war on trees. Tony, not me.
When
other
did
side.
Tony want the comments back by?
April 30th. I'll remind you guys.
Any comments on it needs to be returned to the town planner's office by the end of the month to forward to the consultant writing the plan.
Okay.
Can you do property management in 90 seconds or less?
Yeah. We already talked about Slaper. Lakeside is done. Lawn enclosed pictures of one of the bridges, and the kiosk is also done, the other two bridges are done. One of the other bridges looks a lot like this. Anyway, that's done, the only thing that needs to be done is put the signs on the kiosk, and they're on order from Webster, and mark the trail. I did wanna bring up, TJ and I mentioned it before the meeting, maybe we could name that conservation area. It doesn't have an actual name right now. So TJ's thought was maybe we could bring it up to Phil.
I was just thinking,
I was thinking the same
I was
thing,
thinking
yeah.
the same thing.
I mean, if that works, I'll ask Webster to make a sign that says Phil Clement.
Oh.
Conservation area.
Do we need to do anything more officially than that, to reach in the parcel?
They probably need to vote, but,
To vote.
So put it to a vote.
the chair would entertain a motion to rename, or christen the Lakeside Road Conservation Area, the Philip?
He always goes by Phil, doesn't he?
I think everybody knows this.
Philip, 1L.
You think we should go by Philip?
We could have,
No.
Well, Clement.
Okay.
The Philip Clemens Conservation Area,
Oh,
Clemens with an E?
yeah,
CLEMONS,
ONS.
2 M's, right? 1 M, I like CL.
When-
Let's make sure we get it approved with this back from Webster before.
Check.
yes, okay, right.
Okay, so moved?
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Mansfield, seconded by Mr. Heel. Any conversation on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, abstaining, that motion passes. That brings us to 7 PM and our next public hearing, which is a notice of intent for 321 Lakeside Road. This is a new hearing as well, so if the clerk could please read the public hearing notice.
Yes, the Hanson Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025, at 7 PM at the Hanson Town Hall Select Board's Meeting Room, 542 Liberty Street, Hanson, Massachusetts. Pursuant to a notice of intent to Thomas and Jill Shirley, I'm sorry, not notice. Parcel and project, a proposal for removal of existing dwellings, removal of 15 pine trees, and construction of a new single-family house, including utilities, site grading, and landscaping of distributed areas. Existing septic system will be tied into the new dwelling. Due to the proximity of Oldham Pond, the majority of work is within a 100-foot buffer zone, and work is also proposed in a 50-foot no-disturb zone located at 231 Lakeside Road, map 78, lot 2. The applicant is represented by Stephen Rye, Land Planning Incorporated, 1115 Main Street, Hanson, Massachusetts, 02341. The application is filing under Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act, Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, and the Town of Hanson Wetlands Protection Bylaw, 3-13, Section 5, and Rules and Regulations. Hanson Conservation Commission. Thomas F. Roby, Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Heel. Mr. Rye, the floor is yours.
Sure, thank you. Steve Rye with Land Planning again, for the record. So Tom and Jill are on vacation this week, a little like they've been here for this, but they're out in Arizona. Speaking of Phil Clemens, he helped us out on this project. He's the one that did the wetland flagging along Oldham Pond. This property is located at the end of the Lakeside Drive, the paved portion, more essentially a gravel portion at the end of that. This is 3.26 acres, and it extends quite a bit away from the pond, but the majority of the developed portion of the property, including the paved driveway, existing sheds, which are on the property, and an existing three-bedroom home, which is noted in a hatched form, located up at the top of a little bit of a bluff overseeing Oldham Pond. The so that single family home is deteriorated, there's a lot of friendly damage, really needs to be taken down rather than repaired. So they're proposing to put up a three-bedroom home in its place. They're gonna be moving it 15 feet further away from the pond, the front of the house, 15 feet further away. And, so they're proposing to remove the existing dwelling and, reconstructing each dwelling, maintaining the same utilities with the exception of a well. The current well is located right in front of the house, within feet of it, so that needs to be removed as well. So they're proposing a well to be located, to the southerly side of the property, just, in front of some of the trees here, in this area. And that well will be far enough away from abutting septic systems that it's no issue. And then they're gonna tie back into the existing utilities, which are underground gas and overhead electric. So in doing so, there'll be some minor grading around the house that they need to do. They've also contacted an arborist to come and take a look at it, because there are numerous, big white pine trees, some of them over 100 feet tall, that are right around the existing dwelling. And those are noted in the tree type patch you see there.
What are the ones with the X's in?
Those are the ones that the arborist has indicated that those would be the ones to take down.
Okay.
So they're proposing to remove 15 of them, which are most closely located to the existing and proposed dwelling. And to replace them with a mitigation plan that is also prepared for the project. And it's gonna incorporate 18 plantings, between, name them, red cedar plantings and, cranberry trees. So, not cranberry trees, what is the name?
Blueberry, hybrid blueberry.
No, it's
cranberry?
Because of a berry tree. But those plantings are indicated on, plan submitted to you, and this is a copy of the plans you've got in your records. So, we're also showing a couple of areas for storage after them removing and demoing the existing house. We'll need an area to start piling soil and materials, and those are indicated on the plan, one to either side of the driveway. And the Golden Pond is located to the east of the property. As I said, it's on a big block in the wetland line. It's located basically near the bottom of the slope. It's indicated in blue, the 50-foot buffer and 100-foot buffer are noted in yellow. And the amount of disturbance that's going to be proposed in those areas is about 2,540 square feet within that 100-foot buffer zone. I think that pretty much sums it up. Be happy to answer questions.
No questions. No comments.
Okay.
I had comments, but they were resolved.
Okay.
Oh, good.
That makes me feel better. Any comments, questions, concerns from the members of the commission?
I'm just a little worried, there's a lot of work being done within the 50-foot buffer, including trees being taken down, the existing house coming down, from a new, like, new one being built. Is there enough protection, to protect the water and it seems like we need to address the amount of area in the 50-foot buffer that's being modified, touched, disturbed.
Well,
Because it's deck being built on top of the existing footprint.
yeah, we tried to maintain the house in as much the same location so that the foundation is going in sort of with the existing foundation or forward, meaning away from the pond. And
So within the 50-foot buffer, the house is not expanded, the expansion is within.
The actual
100 foot
foundation,
buffer.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but the actual foundation for the new structure is gonna be outside of the 50 foot. It's only the
Right.
deck area in the back of the house
Yep.
that extends 10 feet off the house that will be in the 50 foot.
So if I'm,
Whereas right now,
if I'm reading the key correctly, it's actually 200 less square feet in the 50-foot buffer.
In the 50-foot buffer, okay.
Yeah.
I'm worried about the disturbance while it's being,
What about the stumps?
so the intent with the removal of the trees is to take them down by grade, which is the least disturbance to budding trees. And once they take them down, they'll leave the stumps initially, and the stumps there's some stumps, about 4 or 5 of them located on the slope, or just onto the slope going down to the pond. We're recommending that they leave those stumps permanently, and then the stumps that are around the house, obviously, they can grind things down. So that's what the intent is. And when they ground in place, they mounted a bunch of wood chips in that little area where the tree was.
And there's a mitigation plan on file, so.
Yeah, there's a-
Mitigation plantings, right?
Yeah.
planting plan
Yeah.
For the proposal where those trees be taken down.
Tell them again what the planning plan says, Steve.
Yeah, so the planting plan. It's gonna have 12 eastern red cedars and 6 crabapple trees, basically placed around the structure, in place of where the existing trees are.
in the same areas.
And those are the type of trees that aren't gonna grow real high again, so they're not gonna be a problem in the future, and they'll have wildlife value to them as well. But his, Hunt Associates, which Phil Fennons, prepared that report, and that's his findings.
There was a recent project recently before us that required permission for a dumpster. That was in the 100-foot or the 50-foot?
I don't remember.
50-foot? It was one of the many Main Street projects, yes, but it was
Alexander
the
Valley,
HVAC folks.
Alexander
It was
Valley.
within the 50, and then when you're talking about, that's the one,
So,
the folks that are
what's the
from.
point?
They needed permission to put it within the 50, or they needed permission to put it within the 100?
So really,
Or are they gonna keep the dumpster up in this material stockpile area and it's not gonna matter?
yeah, that's where we're intending to keep it, yeah,
Yeah.
that will keep it out of the 100-foot buffer zone.
Any other comments, questions, concerns from members of the board? Anything from members of the public? Is anyone here for this one? Okay, seeing no further discussion, the chair would entertain a motion to approve the project as, the chair would entertain a motion to issue a variance to approve work within the 50-foot buffer zone.
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Mr. Mansfield, seconded by Mr. Heel. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, abstaining, that motion passes. The chair would also entertain a motion to approve the order of conditions and special conditions as discussed this evening and close the hearing.
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Mr. Mansfield and seconded by Mr. Heel. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstaining, that motion passes. Thank you.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Take care.
Have a good night.
Bye, Steve.
Sorry.
Thanks, Fred.
Um, quickly, did you take a look at this after kind of sent it out again?
Is that an update, is it?
An update as of yesterday, yeah.
Yeah, I saw it today. Sent Franklin comments.
Okay. When, so,
So the actual, the, Lakeside project
mhm,
estimate was an estimate that I gave to Tony
for the
for
grant,
the trail grant.
right?
And so, that was figured on hiring labor to do the whole thing, and building, actually one bridge that I ended up not building. So, that total estimate was $11,617. We ended up doing it for $6,474.79. Now, part of the savings was because I spent 20 hours of labor on it, so we saved $2,100 there. So those are the final numbers on it.
Okay.
Actually, there's probably about $300 less, because some of the material that's there was actually for Palmetto and Sleeper. I just put it all together so we didn't get delivery charged 3 times.
Fair.
So that's the situation, so we're far on the budget for that. So if we do get the grant, all we need is $6,500.
And when does one traditionally engage a Japanese knotwood contractor?
That's the middle of June.
Okay.
So I already talked to a contractor that did it last year. Told him we gotta have it done and billed by the end of June.
Okay.
So I'll stay on this date.
And have you spoken to Mr. Hoffman about repairs to his machine?
I sent him a text, I never got a response. I haven't seen him since. But I'll follow up with him.
Okay. That brings us to our next agenda item, which was a 7:15 PM request for determination of applicability for 102 Leon Court. There's also a new hearing. The clerk could read the hearing notice, please.
The Hanson Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025, at 7:15 PM at the Hanson Town Hall, Select Board's Meeting Room, 542 Liberty Street, Hanson, Massachusetts, pursuant to a request for determination of applicability from Mass Gomez. Parcel and project. Proposal to perform soil tests of septic system upgrade with 100 feet of bordering vegetated wetlands located at 102 Leon Court, map 2, lot 9. The applicant is represented by Joseph Whitting, the Engineering Associates Incorporated, 182 Country Road, Simpson, Mass. 02367. The applicant is currently under Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act, Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, and the Town of Hanson Wetlands Protection Bylaw, 3-13, Section 5, and Rules and Regulations. Hanson Conservation Commission, Thomas F. Goldie, Chairman.
Mr. Webby, the floor is yours.
Joe Baker, Ready Engineering, this is going to be ultimately a septic system upgrade and going to Leon Court. The house is currently getting remodeled. We have the bordering vegetated wetland delineated by Grant Holmes at ECR, and you can see we also have 50-foot zone and 100. Currently, the cesspool is right in this area. And what we're proposing, or hopefully if everything goes well, is to do a test pit up between the 50 and the 100, and then build a septic system up. Either it's either going to be L-shaped or it's going to be under the driveway.
So you're actually moving it further away from the wetlands?
Right. I think we can, if I recall, which requires 50 feet.
longer.
And the Board of Health hasn't approved it yet, right?
No, they won't give me a date to do the perk test until, we can do the perk.
So, we would recommend a -3 determination, with condition of Board of Health approval.
Okay.
It lists that he's and septic system upgrade, but that's in preparation for a septic system. We're not granting him the ability to do a septic system, we're doing the perk test.
Gotta do the perk test first,
Yeah,
then
and
design the
and then
system,
the system will,
go to the Board of Health, get it approved.
it just substitutes with the wording.
Well, if the application is for both, then the -3 would cover both the perk test and the installation, correct?
That's right.
Yeah, so it would be a one-shot deal. They presumably would need a variance for the work on the cesspool that is existing inside the 50, correct?
Yeah.
So then I would also personally like to condition the tentative approval that it remain outside the 50-foot buffer.
Okay,
So if anything for the new system is gonna take place within the 50-foot buffer, I'd like the opportunity to review it ourselves. Any comments, questions, concerns from the board? Anyone in the public have anything to offer for this one?
Is it going on the side of the house or in the back of the house? I own the abutting land behind the house.
Behind the house?
Behind the house, there's the land, mainly wetlands, yes, I own.
We're gonna be trying to keep the septic system up close to the legal course,
Okay.
because it's all wet.
Well, I own their land court, which is
Sure.
mainly wetlands. The other neighbors are building on my property, and I'd like to keep it to a minimum if I could.
You can have that copy.
You can have this.
Right, so tonight's proposal is to go between that highlighted pink line and the street. And what we were just discussing is if for some reason they need to go within that pink line towards the back of the property, we'd like them to come back so we can review it, because that puts them within 50 feet of the wetlands, which is our primary concern here, more so than the actual septic system design. So that's where we stand, that if they were to pass their perk test and put a system under the driveway, we would be content with that as a conservation commission. So then I take it you will be like the landowner where the wetlands themselves are, the behind, so it'd be about as far from from your property as they could get.
Yeah, we're trying.
Yeah, I mean, you have to work with the footprint you're given. Any other questions? Anything else from the public? All right, seeing no further discussion, the chair would entertain a motion to issue a variance for work within the 50-foot buffer zone for the purpose of removing and filling the existing septic cesspool.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Mansfield and seconded by Mr. Heel. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstaining? That motion passes. The chair would also entertain a motion to approve the project with a -3 determination, subject to the special conditions we've discussed this evening, and close the hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Mansfield and seconded by Mr. Heel. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstaining, motion passes as well. All right, check that one off the list. Thank you, have a good night.
Good night.
Open space acquisition and protection. Excuse me. Anything on the Eversource property on Whitman Street?
Nothing.
Okay. Any further updates on the Landaville parcel?
Nothing.
Okay. I did discuss the Wilkie parcel with town planner last week. And he does have plans for that as it pertains to the Route 14 McQuon Street redevelopment that hopefully is gonna take place in my lifetime. So he was going to reach out to the TA or select board about removing that article from the warrant. A somewhat related note, I have been requested to attend the select board meeting next week to discuss the warrant. So I will keep an eye on that and see what the status of that stands at. The town has also decided to pursuing a small portion, purchasing a small portion of the Hubble property. So, for those not necessarily familiar with the overall geography of the Hubble property that we're pursuing, if you were to enter the Burridge parking lot on Hawks Ave extends slightly further along the train track. And that's the parcel that the town already owns. That's the portion that is supposed to go to the state under the dividing of the 80 whatever acre parcel as things stand currently. Powers that be have determined that if the town were able to purchase this 40-foot wide by not particularly long strip, it would create street frontage for the existing town-owned property there, which would make it presumably more useful for pretty much anything you ever wanted to do with it. Correspondingly, I don't think they'd be real interested in putting that parcel in the care and custody of conservation, so I don't know that we're particularly going to be involved in that. But the planner's office has made it a goal to try and get their hands on that piece before it can be conveyed to the state. Because if it goes to Fish and Wildlife, whatever their official title is, will let the Hawks Ave parcel will remain rather useless for the town. That's some good work out there. Am I missing anything on open space acquisition?
No, I just wanna make a comment about that. I mean, if they're gonna add the 40-foot strip to the purchase of the 40-some odd acres, it's gonna screw us up.
Yeah.
Because the deed to the 40-plus acres needs to say it belongs to the Conservation Commission.
I don't think they're trying to add it.
Well, then they need 2 PNSs.
I think that's the plan.
Okay.
As long as we don't have to get involved.
So what's holding up our PNS? I
Hubble.
don't know.
Hubble hasn't returned it since we sent it back with our comments.
I don't think we're pressing very hard.
I couldn't speak to that. We pay the town administrator a lot of money to be a lawyer.
Okay. I guess I'll wait to get a bid on the bridge.
I wouldn't go nuts on that one.
Yeah, don't go crazy yet. I mean, you've already gone crazy at Lakeside. You don't have the money back yet.
Yeah, I don't know. We weren't involved in this strategic consulting.
What's the incentive for CPC to approve our request for Lakeside?
We don't have a
We don't have any
request
application.
for Lakeside.
Oh, we don't, we're not asking them for money?
That's a
There's a-
grant request from the town planner. That's what the estimate was they worked up for us, but not
Okay.
CPC. CPC is sleeper.
what's our incentive for them to give us the money for sleep?
CPC has already voted to approve it.
They've already approved that. The other
It'll-
CPC.
It will go to town meeting and has to be approved by that, but that's a separate discussion from what is CPC's motivation. CPC has voted to approve that project.
The other CPC application is for the brochure.
Yeah, I get that. That won't be approved until
Right.
sometime later.
But meanwhile, the town planner approached me a couple of weeks ago. He's got $3,000, he wants to get the brochure done.
Right, so I don't know that we need to even involve CPC in this one.
Well, we already have the application in, so it's kind of,
There's gonna be a new CPC chair real soon,
right,
so this may be less of a priority.
right. I filled out the section B anyway,
I mean, submit it, 'cause
Right.
they can always approve it, and then we don't take it to the town meeting floor, 'cause we use the town planner's
but
money.
they have to go all the time.
Okay.
That's what I would say, let it ride. And I'll follow up with the town planner and see how sincere he is about this. But he told me flat out, I got $3,000, can we get the brochures done? I already have an estimate, so we can get fewer printed for $3,000. Don't you mess with it.
No, I just feel a little bit uninformed, that's all.
Well, he just, you know how it went. I was walking by his office, he called me and said, hey, I got $3,000, and you go, sure.
Stop using the back stairs.
Yeah.
The health agent doesn't try to Shanghai you into things.
I'm gonna ask him flat out this week, do we move with this or not? During the session, I'll let you know.
I mean, he's got the $3,000, we don't,
Yeah,
right?
well, I don't know if he's got it in the bank, but it's a state thing. But let me get some more specifics. This is just this ad hoc thing as I was walking by.
If the town planner has somebody else's money we can spend,
Right,
let's spend it.
I'm fine. But let me question him more closely. I didn't want to engage him too long. That was the day I went to visit you guys.
All right, turning our attention to our 7:30, agenda item, a notice of intent public hearing for 387 Woodbine Avenue. This is another new hearing. If the clerk could please read the public hearing notice.
The Hanson Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025, at 7:30 p.m.
Drop a share.
at the Hanson Town Hall, Select Board Meeting Room,
Don't need to-
542 Liberty Street, Hanson, Massachusetts. Pursuant to the notice of intent of David and Serena Winter, Council on Project. A proposal to upgrade the existing septic system to Title V standards within 100 feet of the border and vegetated wetlands at 387 Woodbine Avenue, map 3, lot 3-0-22. The applicant is represented by Webby Engineering Associates Incorporated, 180 County Road, Clinton, Massachusetts, 02367. The applicant is filing under Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act, Massachusetts General Law 131, Section 40, and the Town of Hanson Wetlands Protection Bylaw 3-13, Section 5, and Rules and Regulations. Hanson Conservation Commission, Thomas Webby,
Mr. Webby?
Joe Webby, Webby Engineering, this is a septic system upgrade, for existing dwelling, and, it abuts Monpont Pond, the west Monpont Pond on the southerly side. There's also a BBW across the street, and then the BBW, I think it's associated with a mid-mitten stream on that side. So we have wetlands on two sides, and we buy now on one. And, you can see we have two lines, the wetlands line, that's 50 foot, and the 100 goes right through there, right through our leaching field. So what we're proposing to do is put in a leaching field, with chambers, concrete chambers and stones, so that we can drive over it. So this will be, H20 loading, and we're gonna basically use the septic tank, and then put a pump chamber in, and then install it. The septic system will read Title V. It's
is that we're gonna be doing work between the 50 and the 100.
Is there an existing system?
Oh, yeah, it's right in that area.
Oh, it's the same place.
Right.
Okay. Dr. Scaliger?
So I had comments which Mr. Webby took care of. And, this is a tough lot.
Yeah.
Because Mr. Winter is upgrading from 3 bedrooms to 5, is that right?
That's correct.
So the system is gonna have to be a little bit larger than it was. He's got very, very limited space to put a system, so Webby has designed it to be where it can be and still fit on the lot. There's a very slight disturbance to the 50-foot buffer, which you'll have to approve, but, otherwise, I would say you would approve, subject to Board of Health approval of the system. I take it they haven't.
No, I think they're meeting, is it next week?
So, we would condition it based on Board of Health approval.
Any comments, questions, concerns from the members of the commission? Yeah, not a lot to work with that.
Yeah, there's one thing, so it's just a septic, or is this proposed garage up there too? That looks like, or am I looking at the wrong thing? I'm looking at the wrong thing, never mind, okay.
I don't care if
This one.
Oh, you already got some.
Yeah,
Any comments, questions from the public?
This is Mr. Winter.
Dave Winters, 387 Woodbine Ave. There are 2 trees that are at the street line that if the system is extended through, we may end up having to take them down. One's already been stated by multiple people, one being the Board of Health agent that came out and watched the test pit, said the tree is dead. So, I am concerned that if we don't state anything about it tonight, do I have to come back for another request to take those 2 trees down?
If they're along the street, they'd be outside the 100-foot buffer, correct?
No, the 100-foot buffer is,
They're outside the 50-foot.
Am I reading this backwards?
the 100-foot buffer covers the whole lot.
It's a little tiny bit of it, the trees within, inside the hundred.
Well, there's corner, I think one's on the corner, right?
So that's outside the
One's about halfway down that run, so.
Down this one?
So one would be right here, and then one would be right here.
Yeah, I think it's close.
Or outside the yellow.
They're outside the 50.
Okay. And then,
Definitely outside.
all right, I've got another comment to this.
Well, it looks like we're gonna need those lots for, it looks like you just pointed out about 100.
I
It is.
The left one might be.
Yeah, that yellow highlighting is the 100.
Okay.
See the yellow highlight?
Yeah, yeah.
It's very,
All right, so it's just.
one of them could.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
yeah, you can take, if it's outside the 100, you can take it down, down, down.
All right. And then the other comment is, currently the system goes under the driveway. So that area on the northeast side is the driveway up to the garage. And it goes beyond the 100-foot into the 100 to 50 area. They're gonna have to take that out. Is that gonna be a problem?
Are they gonna need to disturb within the 50?
Is your intention to fix just the area that's disturbed for that, or are you gonna redo the whole driveway inside the 100-foot?
I'm gonna have to redo the driveway, re-slope it and everything after they disturb it. I just wanna fix it.
So, yeah, it's working inside the 100.
The driveway's inside the 50, right?
Yep.
It's a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, we have to issue a variance anyway, because the corner of the tank goes into the 50. Are you planning to pave the driveway, or just regrade the driveway?
I've been asked by family to pave the driveway, but it's a gravel road, so, I just wanna put it back to gravel driveway.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that you need any special condition to replace what is being disturbed to put the septic system in.
Replacing it with what's there now.
Yeah, I mean, it's reasonable to expect that if you have to dig some of the driveway up to put the septic tank under it, you're gonna have to repair that. But if you're not trying to, move it or pave it, I think that's just restoration.
Yeah, that was my question, is what's the intent to pay the whole thing?
No, if you're just gonna, grade it and maybe throw some fresh gravel down, that's restoration, not.
But if you decide to pave it, you have to come back to us.
Yes,
Yeah, I mean, if he were to lose the argument and have to pave it.
Lose every argument in my house.
Tell you what, we said no.
Any other comments, questions, concerns?
No.
Are you here in regards to 387 Woodbine?
no, she's next here.
Just double checking. Seeing no further conversation on this matter, the chair would entertain a motion to issue a variance for work within the 50-foot buffer.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Mansfield and seconded by Mr. Heel. All those in favor, please, any conversation on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, abstaining, that motion passes. The chair would also entertain a motion to approve the order of conditions, with the special conditions discussed this evening, and to close the hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Mansfield, seconded by Mr. Heel. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstaining, motion passes unanimously.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Webber.
Take care, John.
Hi, Joe.
You don't wanna hang out?
We are cooking with gas.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I only look at the name, we have two on Woodbine.
I think that was the first one that we turned away.
Yeah, I just noticed that, because we did that, so when I pulled up there, and I'm looking at this, I'm like, where's this deck?
Right.
Yeah, no, hey, I'm very cute, like, the rest of it looks like mine,
I
very
was
cute.
trying to put it so it was like organized, but it was like there's no easy way to do all the things. I know. Almost there. You know why? They're all, like,
Because they were off for tonight, yeah, no, I get it.
yeah.
You coming in tomorrow? You got enough to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna get all done within 3 hours. Imagine.
I can already tell you exactly what you're gonna do for 3 hours tomorrow, and it ain't anything to do with this.
I'm gonna get bombarded, I know. You know what's gonna happen? I'm gonna get bombarded.
I know exactly what's gonna happen, I'm not gonna discuss it with the recorder on it.
Okay, no.
Alright, the time being approximately 7:45 PM, we are gonna turn our attention to our next public hearing, which is a request for an amendment to an existing order of conditions for 64 Tavern Way. This is also a new hearing. Mr. Keel, if you could read again the public hearing notice.
The Hanson Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025, at 7:45 PM at the Hanson Town Hall, 4th floor meeting room, 542 Liberty Street, Hanson, Massachusetts, pursuant to a request for an amendment to an existing order of conditions for following feature. Parcel and project. A proposal to install an in-ground pool within 100 feet of bordering vegetated wetlands at 64 Tavern Way, map 100, lot 29-1. The applicant is filing under Massachusetts Wetland Protection Act, Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, and the Town of Hanson Wetlands Protection Bylaw, 3-13, Section 5, and rules and regulations. Hanson Conservation Commission, Thomas F. Roby, Chairman.
I got a question right off the bat, on this one, you said 100 feet, but it looks like it's within the 50 entirely.
I think the legal language has to do, if it's within 100 feet, it's within our purview.
Oh, okay.
Like for the public hearing notice, I don't know that that specifies
Yeah, okay.
exactly where on the plan it falls.
Yeah, the pool itself.
Are you the homeowner?
I live with my dog.
Okay.
So you're representing the homeowner?
Yes. I'm paying.
So,
Okay.
what was the existing proposal before this?
Well, yeah, what's the original order of conditions for, Frank?
Oh, the original order was to put an addition on the house.
And is that, is
That's
not closed?
being abandoned.
Okay.
I understand that that's the case. We
The addition was never constructed?
never constructed and is being abandoned, and this is replacing the order.
So no new building, just.
No building.
Just.
I could have gone either way, a new one or go under the existing. The engineering firm I used did all of the, surveying and everything for that, which included this too, so I thought instead of closing two, I would just have one to close, so there's no building.
Okay. Dr. Scallinger, any comments?
No, I've reviewed this and I've discussed it with Ms. Pritchard, and, the only other thing that I'm not sure about is how to mitigate the disturbance to the 50-foot buffer. So, I'm not sure that there's a plan to replace what is lost, with plantings or some form of
Well, they
mitigation.
have that, I don't know what you call it. Maybe it's more on.
All of this back here beyond this red line is within the 50-foot buffer.
Right.
It's all gonna be disturbed. So the question is there something you're going to do to mitigate that loss?
They had, I think this was it,
And, that little square is dewatering pit,
Right.
where they're going to put any water that they have to pump out of the hole.
Oh, I thought that was sort of a mitigating.
No, no, no.
I'd be happy to,
This is currently lawn back here, right?
yes,
A couple of trees, there's a
yes,
shed here,
yes, no, the sheds.
another shed,
Oh,
shed.
Oh,
Is that still
sorry.
there?
no,
That's not there.
no, all,
What's not where, sorry?
The square behind the
oh, this playset, yes,
Nope.
it's just a playset.
place, okay.
Mhm.
Okay, so, behind the erosion control is just lawn, back to what is the wetland. There's a wetland behind the house. This used to be part of the Wyman family compound. So, I have no problem with putting in the pool, although we've talked about the water table. She's determined to put in her pool despite the fact that the water table's probably right there, but that's up to her.
But I'm going to do what you suggested,
Put a drain under it,
the pipes and,
yes. But what we didn't talk about was mitigating the disturbance to the 50-foot buffer. I think maybe we should talk about what kind of planting might be
We don't
done.
have that wording of that. We wrote up a little something about how much it was gonna be for mitigation within the 50-foot buffer.
Are we talking about the mitigation fund?
What is it?
He's talking about the fee.
The mitigation fund when mitigation can't be done?
No,
Disturbance with the
yeah, the
10 cents of,
yeah, so if
10
you're
cents per
disturbing
area.
X amount of feet, so you either plant something or give us money so that we can plant it somewhere else.
Well, but there may be,
Well, I mean, the first question here that I don't have the math capacity to figure out in my head is the square footage of this that's inside the 50-foot buffer. Because that's going to be where this conversation starts for
right,
the square footage of any proposed mitigation.
it's gonna be a lot of it
Yeah, it's not just the pool, it's the paver patio around it too.
on the road.
I mean, if that's construction access, that's probably gonna be reseeded when they're done. I assume that's just to get the machines back there, I don't think that's a permanent road. Right? You're not planning on putting a new road through your lawn, that's just to get the
No.
machines back there?
there's a, drive up here.
The driveway to the right of the house and then just construction access here, right?
We probably won't do this, there just isn't room between the shed and the house. But our neighbor has a, dirt road that goes all the way around, and he's given us permission to lower our fence, or lower the fence and go through that way.
From the left-hand side as we were looking at the
Yes.
plan? So it sounds like your road's not much of a concern, sorry.
Although if that goes into wetlands, we could come this way.
The wetland is here.
Okay,
You need to stay out of it,
right,
absolutely. Need to come in here.
right. That's where, when she had her, patio done, they came, so.
Mhm.
And I've already started planting trees. I don't know if that's mitigating.
Where would you plant it?
I have right beyond the fence in the grassy area, weeping willows.
Yeah,
Weeping willows.
I love
Oh, okay.
That's dangerous.
They're dangerous? They're
Weeping
just,
willows.
yeah, I just love them, I know. Oh, dangerous.
Oh, it's not good for wetlands.
Not wetlands, I guess.
Oh.
This white section.
Well, all things in moderation.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt them. They're just messy, and you never wanna put one next to a septic.
Oh,
system.
Right,
Yeah.
It's deadly.
Hmm.
So it's like I mean, TJ, if we were thinking about doing mitigation fund, an extremely loose ballpark, because we do have a scale on there, it would be like 800 square feet.
Yeah, I mean,
We'll sell it 600, so you're losing a little bit outside the 50.
right,
So even if on a conservative estimate, if we said it was 800, you know, that's nothing. I mean,
right.
You said it was what, 10 cents a square foot?
I think that's what we had in the past, yeah, but,
So
I mean, she's,
It's grass.
Ms. Pritchard has stated that, she's already in the process of planting some trees towards the back of the property, right?
Then I would think that.
So I would think maybe if you could provide us a little more detail on how many trees and approximately where.
Well, if you tell me, I would love to plant all kinds of trees, so.
So, I think,
Not too many plants survive wetlands, so I'm limited in what trees, but.
yes,
The blueberries, the high-bush blueberries is pretty good for most of the people that have. They do it anymore.
I can do winterberry and I can do, the maples do well and the, of course, the weeping willows do well. And I just planted
do you think the
5 winterberries.
finalizing of the plant mix is something we could leave in your capable hands?
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll work
So-
something out.
Mitigation planning is to be finalized in conjunction with the office staff.
Yes.
Any further comments, questions, concerns? Is there an existing variance, or do we need to vote one tonight?
You need to vote one because the addition was outside the 50-foot buffer.
Okay. So, that being the case, the chair would entertain a motion to approve a variance for work within the 50-foot buffer zone for this project.
So move.
Motion made by Mr. Mansfield, seconded by Mr. Heel. Any conversation on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, abstaining, motion passes. Following that, the chair would entertain a motion to approve this amendment to the order of conditions, subject to the special conditions and plan that we have discussed this evening, and close the hearing.
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Mr. Mansfield and seconded by Mr. Heel. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, abstaining, that motion passes. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Very cool.
Now, I may proceed?
I'll mail you the paperwork probably Monday. And I'll email you a copy of it, and then you'll get the actual copy in the mail.
Okay.
Okay.
I can just stop by if that's easier.
If
Well,
you want to, I can give you a call when I get
You need to talk to me
done.
anyway,
Okay.
I do?
about the plants.
Oh, about the plants.
Yeah,
Yes, that's-
so I'll
that's
give
gonna
you
be
a
in
call.
the
It's
order.
not, yeah, it's not as scary as that sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've talked before, she's
That'll
not
be
afraid of
very
me.
fun.
Okay, so I'll give you a call
It's not gonna be a
tomorrow
whole
when it's all set,
Okay,
and if I happen to not be there, I'll put it on my desk for you.
okay.
Okay?
Good,
Right.
thank you so much.
Thank you, Polly.
Thank you. Not like the guy that was wandering the second floor the other day looking for Peter.
Am I supposed to have one of these for the 8 o'clock?
No,
Okay.
8 o'clock continued. 8 o'clock was continued to tonight and is continued again. So, that hearing notice has been read.
Yeah. So we can,
It's gonna continue.
so we... How you doing, Elise? Good.
Adding something by saying aye.
That's the first time we've had a vote 5-0-0 in a while.
Oh, I know.
Oh, this is something down where the new apartment is?
No, this is behind Phil Clemens' house. So,
That's where the junkyard is.
Yeah, I know where it
yeah,
is.
Mr. White owns the existing industrial property down there, and this is a retreat property behind there.
Yep.
So,
Let's see what it's about.
they went to ZBA last night,
Mhm.
and were continued to some date in May.
May 20th.
May 20th.
They have been working with Frank on some concerns that Frank has raised, to their engineer. There was a peer review of the wetland delineation, that sounds like it changed pretty drastically.
It went through the middle of one of the buildings.
So there's some,
Yeah.
the wetland delineation line is in the middle of where he thought they were gonna put one of the buildings, so.
Oh, one of the new buildings, okay.
One of the new buildings, yeah. So there's some, pretty significant back to the drawing board going on with this project at the moment.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear from that surveyor on the lines, property lines?
No, that's one of the open issues, is the survey itself,
Yeah.
because it doesn't match up with the, with what the, assessors have for property lines. They've appropriated a piece of land, and, so Kenny Anderson is looking into that for us.
Their excuse was that they've been busy doing as many surveys by drone as possible before the leaves come in. That's why they haven't had a chance to get back to us.
Oh, I see.
Which makes me just brimming with confidence.
Yep.
So we'll be voting to continue this hearing this evening.
To a date on,
I mean, we'll do the next hearing and see if they're ready by then.
well, or do we have to wait till after May?
Well, we already know they won't because they won't have had the zoning board.
Yeah, they're,
Yeah, I also think that, you heard whose house this was behind, right?
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna have some friends when we hit this one, we might as well get it over with sooner rather than later.
Okay.
One of them was there last night,
One of the two homeowners.
yeah, to share some, I think, pretty pointed criticism. So the chair would entertain a motion to continue this hearing to April 16th at 7?
7.
7 p.m.
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Mr. Mansfield and seconded by Mr. Heel. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, abstaining, motion passes 5-0-0. If we get anything for the next meeting, we could probably only leave him 15 minutes. I can't imagine we're gonna go that in
they're
depth,
gonna continue again.
right?
We're
I'm
not,
just
we're
thinking
not
out loud
gonna
with mine.
approve it
Yeah,
until
no, we,
the zoning board does.
deadline was Monday. No. I'll let you know.
Right, but if we get anything, we could probably just go 7.
Definitely. Okay.
Push. Anything else on the property management you had?
Well, I'll order that sign for the plumbing thing.
Right,
I don't know how much that costs.
I'm sure we can scrape up the money.
Well, it'll be well within the budget for Lakeside.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing, so, we are gonna have to pay Mr. Anderson for his services in relation to this project we were just discussing.
Same, we need more money.
And, well, we're not gonna see that CPC money until, July, when the new fiscal year starts. So just to be conscious that,
Well, the only expenses we got coming up are Webster for the signs.
right, which I don't think that's a
It'll
problem.
be in the hundreds, not the
Right.
Webster, when they give you a quote, it has a time limit on it?
What?
Well, they're already printing the signs, like, the price.
No, I meant for the CDP money. Back in you, or am I mixing up something? Never mind.
I mean, CPC approved a sum of money, $8,000.
Yeah.
But CPC requires approval at town meeting,
Oh,
and then the money's not transferred till the fiscal year starts.
But we need to be able to pay Ed Sheehan.
yeah.
Right, Ed's not gonna wait until August to get his $8,000, or $7,200.
Right.
Well, I guess I could check if that warrant article went on the special meeting, it would be available in May. Instead of the annual.
Well, either way, all we need to do is make sure we have $8,000 in the bank.
Right. Just before you go order, like miles of lumber, so it's not without hearing it.
No, I won't.
Yeah, you back over the
All right, wanna pay some bills?
Yep. Oh, yeah, we got one more.
We'll go one more at 8:15, so pay some bills and then we'll hit that one.
Try to make it easy for it.
Down Cross Street and take a right on Lakeside Road.
Or left, depending which way you come.
Oh, which way you come? Go across Cross Street, you go past Lakeside Terrace. That's maybe 50 or 100 feet on the left, past Lakeside Terrace.
You can
You can
see the kiosk
You can see the kiosk
from,
and
See the bridge, yeah.
So if I just drive down Lakeside Road, I'll see it.
yeah,
Well-
so,
Yeah.
go past Lakeside Terrace and then.
when you,
Okay.
have you been on Lakeside Road before?
I have.
So, when you come onto Lakeside Road, Lakeside Terrace is not on, whatever. Just after that, the road kind of bears to the right. And the kiosk is gonna be on your left, just before the road bears to the right. But as you're coming in, you can see the kiosk on the side of the road.
Oh, okay, so if I just cruise down blindly, I'll see a key.
See that.
Like, my mother-in-law lives on Lakeside Terrace, I went over there this afternoon, and the first thing I noticed when I turned down the street was the kiosk was there.
So I'm like, I wanna go down and take a look at this place.
I did not walk the trail.
You can see it.
Yeah.
It's right there. You can literally see it. Yeah, right down the road. Yeah.
Long Street Bridges, every time we go on there, we just like run back and forth.
Oh, he'll be beside himself on this one.
Well, I'm gonna keep a close eye on that property for us.
Whenever
I will.
I take a hiking, which is all the time during the good season, whenever he gets to the bridges, I always have to be like, yeah, enough to see him bridges, like he just runs back and forth.
Oh, this will be, this will be.
So
right
when-
there.
Yeah, if I show him a 20-foot span over water, I'm gonna be.
When does the hearing notice price increase go into effect?
This way, as soon as-
Virginia just found out and told me there was no formal, thing. She said for the next hearing, so April 3rd. And she wrote, sorry for the short notice to Virginia.
Okay.
So I think we might be okay for those ones.
Are any of these mine?
The express, went up, Papa.
So far, we're doing, public hearing notices on the express.
You know what, Dave? Maybe. I don't know.
Lakeside Road project materials, yeah,
Yeah, one I think is.
I'll pass
Okay.
it past you before we get to it.
Me and, Frank were in paperwork. Heavens.
Have you been to that suspension bridge in Carver?
I think this week was the first time I ever made it in the office while you were still there.
Oh, I know. I was like, TJ.
It's awesome. It was built, I think, by the local conservation. So maybe it's local, yeah, it's sweet.
Dave, you've been on class.
It's kinda hard to,
Oh, the one down in Carver?
yeah,
That's a beautiful bridge.
it's really awesome.
I know, I wanna build one of them, but.
Suspension bridges sound expensive, Dave, settle
Yeah.
down.
I saw the other one, Dave.
Huh?
We went down to the back.
But you
on
see that
Saturday.
20-foot bridge?
Yep.
Yep.
Looks good.
Yep. Looks just like that one, except lower.
I was like, and actually like
Yeah,
this.
this one's all around it though, that's a significant span.
Yep, the other one's same distance. Well, it's actually short span, it's 20 feet, but it's only 15.
No, but it looks like you had to run another one down the middle.
It's got 5 20-foot 2x10s on it.
5?
Yep. You jump
And a
in
3-foot wide? Before.
That one's you.
So it's called the coal and.
4 feet wide.
You survived, it looks like 3.
No, it's doubled on the sides.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Okay, that makes sense.
because I can see the reflection of the water, so I want to go down the middle.
Oh yeah, you can jump up and down that, that won't move at all.
Don't challenge me. Also,
Give
is
me permission.
that all of them?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's not even, it's mine.
Well, more we did it.
I told you mine.
We actually had a good flow going.
Got a lot done.
Yeah, we really did.
Yeah.
The last two should both be reimbursement seal.
Yeah, they are. That's
So you got the email, I wanna put the High Street Park Committee on the next agenda.
We signed it twice?
What time did you send it?
A week ago.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh,
Mr. Ellis cornered me after the
he
supermarket
did?
meeting.
Okay. He wants to go?
He wants a conservation member
It's
appointed.
like I'm shut down.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna have to recommend somebody like the board. But
Maybe it'll be a little different this time around.
I didn't want to bog down this meeting any further. And then looking at this, we probably need to throw meeting dates on it.
Do the
sooner
meeting
rather
dates,
than later.
let's do it next time, okay.
But it could also.
Unless, you know, the rest of the week turns into a
No, we should be fine, that won't
poop
affect
show
us.
and
Yeah,
we get
I
crazy.
told him,
Yeah, no, not a lot.
I told him about,
No, well, so, yeah, that too, but, like, if the filing deadline's not till Monday, if somebody comes in with a bunch,
yeah, at
we
least
could
I'll have,
push the meeting dates, but
I was there.
we only have 3 hearings next time, and one of them's probably gonna be continued.
yeah,
An hour a foot.
2 hearings?
we have 3 now, thank you, well,
Well, when did we continue?
1282.
1282.
86 Woodbine, we did 86 Woodbine,
And was the other one the Marstons?
yeah,
Because you can't really count on that one either.
well, and
We
then,
only have 1 guaranteed one for next time.
yeah, and I'll let you know if we get
And
another,
they might come back and say that they still don't have their act together, which,
so the House Park Committee member, right?
yes.
And then,
It's,
okay, that's all right, it's a formality.
yeah, no. Not that I know any of these kids that work for the engineers, but Greg Morse was here a lot on County Road. You'd think he could handle
But
it.
maybe order some extra.
A barn.
You would,
The truth is, I got extra.
yeah, you would.
But they were, like we did Mrs. Pritchard's and none of them were here.
Yeah.
That was a Morse project.
I can build a forest down there. And it's,
They don't, they want the big one, you think?
I don't know, the kid that was here last time,
no,
the kid I recognized, he's from Morse.
Mhm.
So, I don't know.
I don't think he likes you.
Greg?
I don't think he likes you.
I don't think he likes you.
I think you're right. I believe that's the case.
I don't know if it's personal, but it's definitely about you.
Was it Morse that brought our baby owl in?
What's that?
Was baby owl at the meeting?
Nope.
If you,
But I don't know if you were here yet.
Then, I don't know, but Morse did Zero County Road.
Oh, yeah, you couldn't be here. One of the engineers was driving, and you could tell he was a city boy, but he brought in the baby owl. He rescued his owl on the road, and he brought it back to the meeting.
I do think you told me that.
Yeah, yeah, remember that?
I think that was one of the ones that I stayed home because it
County Road, it's County
was
Road.
at 100% County Road.
Yeah, and he put it in a box, and Phil took it, brought it to his brother.
Have you been out there at all?
Yeah.
What's that?
Have you been out there at all?
do it, come up like.
Have I?
County, have you been out to the county road?
Across the street from me?
No.
Need to turn on the back.
Gil is all over the county road.
He is.
Gil is all over the,
They haven't done a thing out there before it snowed.
yeah?
And there's no.
They had to replace all that fill, right? Did they have to replace all that dirt?
They replaced a
that.
bunch of it.
Yeah, they did that.
Was that the one,
We have what?
Tony's on them too, about,
Really?
they found the compaction, right?
The proctor didn't measure up to the road,
Yeah.
didn't come up to compaction. So that was what his letter was about.
Yeah, I saw that.
Princeton or? But what is it like,
A butter to Mr. Myers. What she's lost.
I thought it was.
I don't see an owl in her hand.
I know you would.
No, he's still out.
I didn't realize it was doing conservation. I didn't say that. Strike this for the minute.
The recorder is,
I know.
select board's getting a little litigation happy over there at the moment.
What are you
Depends, what are you looking for?
Conservation Commission?
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, we were waiting for you. We were waiting for you.
We're all sitting around patiently waiting.
Which project are you here in regards to?
Regarding Jeffrey Myers,
Grab a seat, we're just waiting to get started.
That's the 1815.
The 8:15, yeah.
And 8:15 here.
pardon me?
8:15, so.
He's, yeah, so,
No, we have to wait for it.
Am I in the wrong spot?
No,
No, you're fine.
You're doing
You're fine.
We just have to wait till the time is posted in case somebody wants to show up for it.
anyone else wants to join us? Ed, is anybody running against you?
When's the deadline on that? Monday?
That's why I was saying
Oh,
you
last
could
week.
run, but you didn't wanna.
I'm not running.
He's talking to me.
Yeah.
He's talking to me, because I'm busy running for school committee.
No, you're better off at the school committee.
What would you wanna do a thing like that for?
I'm a glutton for punishment.
I know, apparently.
Boy, I'll say.
One of
Yeah.
the really long meetings and everyone in town to hate you. Or at least half of everybody in town anyway, no matter what you vote.
You act like everybody in this town likes me to begin with. Continue. Pirate. Excuse me.
Oh, Lonnie, I found out what's going on with the whole photo thing. I got Microsoft 11 on my computer,
Yeah.
and it won't save JPEG. You can't use JPEG on it, you have to convert, it's HEIC.
Yeah, and then it automatically saves it as that?
No, it saves it as just a blank square. You have to get a converter to convert the JPEG.
Oh.
I downloaded all my 4,500 photos, and they're all just little black squares.
Oh.
Oh. I thought it was just my, like,
No, it's Microsoft that
adware or
decided not to go along with Apple phones,
why?
because Apple photos are JPEGs,
Yeah.
but
That's too bad.
Microsoft only uses HEIC.
Oh.
That's why we had so much trouble with Sheehan's, because he has an Android.
Oh,
His
it's automatically.
pictures were wrong.
Oh, bummer.
So I just got this computer, and I don't know what.
Oh. A lot of the stuff, if it's an attachment on my computer, I can't just open it, it'll come out like mumbo jumbo, but if I do print, it'll show the picture before I print it.
Well, that's a different problem with those
Yeah,
CPC things. I don't know why that comes out with all that formatting.
with the edit,
Oh, those things are a disaster.
they are.
The time having reached 8:15 PM, we will turn our attention to the last scheduled public hearing for this evening, which is a request for determination of applicability to remove 5 mature trees at 89 Holly Bridge Drive as another new hearing. Mr. Hill, if you could please read the public hearing notice.
The Hanson Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025, at 8:15 PM at the Hanson Town Hall Select Board Meeting Room, 542 Liberty Street, Hanson, Mass, pursuant to the request for determination of applicability for Jeffrey S. Myers, parcel and project. A proposal to remove 5 mature trees in an area 40 feet wide by 20 feet deep, directly behind home that are in danger of falling on the house and deck within 100 feet of bordering vegetated wetlands at 89 Holly Ridge Drive, map 111, lot 116, for Jeffrey S. Myers. The MGL Chapter 131, Section 40, and the Town of Hanson Wetland Protection Bylaw, 3-13, Section 5, and Rules and Regulations. Hanson Conservation Commission, Thomas F. Brophy, Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Hill. Are you here as an abutter, or on behalf of Mr. Myers, or?
I got a letter in the mail,
Okay.
and I'm not, I wasn't even certain if I needed to come, but,
We appreciate it.
No, it's only if you have comments on it.
Oh, I have no comment, no, he's fine, the trees are in a problem, take them down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no issue, that's it?
That letter didn't require you to come, it was just it was an
Yeah, if you
informational
wanted
letter,
to.
and you have a right to come the next day.
Right,
We had a question,
I don't know if you'd call them in a butter, I guess it's across the street, so,
Right. That's
So
why-
legally, yes.
okay,
Uh,
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I think it's, in case you wanted to object, saying, you know, you don't like brush or
Fine.
whatever.
Well, it was nice of you to come down.
Oh, okay, so you don't need to know my name or where I live or any of that?
The name would be great if you, if you sign in, and then I can add it to the,
thank you very
Yeah,
much.
let's
Thank you
look
for
forward
coming
to that.
down.
thank you.
We appreciate your time.
It's freezing out, I didn't wanna come.
We appreciate it even more.
It is unseasonably cool out.
Besides, you're left-handed, so that's okay.
Dr. Callender, I presume you have,
I've been down there, I looked at the trees, they can come down, they're threatening the house, they're big, they're tall. Everybody in town is up against take the trees down from the insurance companies.
Good night.
Nice, thank you.
These are 5 trees, deciduous trees. They're right behind the house. They're very tall. If they came down, they would hit the house. He had one come down, hit the deck, broke his deck. So, he asked if he could please take these down and prevent that from happening again. And I marked them here in little red circles behind the house. And, they're all within the 50-foot buffer, just over the line. That line of what look like trees is the 50-foot buffer line. So they're all just over that. And, I'd give them a -3 to take down his trees.
are we asking him to leave the stumps?
Yes, we always ask to leave the stumps.
And he knows that?
Yep. I'll write it in the conditions.
Hard to transpose one onto the other, it looks like it's right along the 50-foot buffer, very
That's what
close.
Frank just said, yeah.
It is,
Very
it
close.
is inside, it's at like 49 feet, but it
Yeah.
is inside the buffer.
Okay.
Any comments, questions, concerns out of the commission? Seeing none, the chair would entertain a motion to issue a variance for work within the 50-foot buffer zone.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Mansfield, seconded by Mr. Heel. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That having passed, the chair would entertain a motion to issue a -3 determination for the RDA with special conditions and close the hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Mansfield, seconded by Mr. Heel. Any further discussion on that motion? Seeing none, the chair would, seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstaining, motion passes 4-0-0. Any other business we have not covered this evening?
This is just a reminder of the next 2 months or whatever,
Yeah, just so you can plan your vacations accordingly, please.
but it doesn't,
Yeah. No, I wasn't sure if we wanted to continue out more, so I figured I'd put that.
We're gonna discuss future meetings next time.
okay.
So do we want to?
But this goes along with the first and third Wednesday,
Yeah,
so,
and those we've already reviewed and accepted through June,
okay. I just.
and we'll do the second half of the year next meeting.
Great.
Which I imagine will, for the most part, remain the first and third Wednesdays that we've done since I joined the commission. Any other unfinished business?
Do we want to read the open space plan in its entirety tonight, or?
You wanna read it aloud?
Or-
Is that up to the clerk?
Why don't you read it, Steve?
That is most
I
certainly.
will get up and I will read it to us all, okay?
Oh, good. Takes minutes.
With the time being 8:23 PM, the chair would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.